Medical science is absolute on one specific rule. When a human heart stops beating, the body immediately begins to break down. Within 24 hours, the biological process of decay is irreversible. Within a year, nothing is left but bone and dust. This is the law of nature. It happens to kings, it happens to scientists, and it happens to all of us. But what if I told you there is a loophole? What if I told you that hidden inside glass cases across Europe, there are human bodies that have completely broken the laws of physics and biology? Soft skin, intact organs, blood that remains liquid centuries after death, no embalming, no modern chemicals, just a biological impossibility that makes modern forensic scientists walk away in absolute silence. Take a close look at this face. This is Bernadette Soubirous. She died in 1879. 30 years after her death, the local government ordered her grave to be opened. The grave was incredibly damp, the perfect environment for rapid decomposition. The wooden coffin was rotting. The clothes were decaying. They fully expected to find a skeleton. But when they removed the veil from her face, the doctors rose. She looked like she had fallen asleep 5 minutes ago. Her skin was soft. Her nails were perfect. Her liver, an internal organ that degrades in mere days, was completely intact. Dr. Comte, the lead forensic investigator, was not a religious fanatic. He was a man of science, and in his official public medical report, he wrote, "The state of perfect preservation of the body is entirely natural and defies all laws of science. And the most terrifying part for skeptics is she is not an isolated case. There are over 250 documented cases exactly like this one. Look at Saint Sylvan, murdered over 1,600 years ago. Look at Saint Catherine Labre, dead for over a century. Her eyes still perfectly blue. Look at Padre Pio, who died in 1968, exhumed decades later with absolutely no signs of decay. When the Catholic Church investigates these cases, they do not rely on priests. They bring in secular scientists, atheist doctors, and modern medical equipment to try and debunk it. They look for formaldehyde, they look for mummification techniques, and they find absolutely nothing. These bodies are not mummies. Mummies are dry, stiff, and surgically emptied of their organs. These bodies are supple. Some of them even bleed fresh blood when accidentally cut. So, what does this mean? And why does this make so many Protestant pastors incredibly uncomfortable? If you walk into a modern Protestant church and ask about the saints, they will tell you that they are just dead people. They will tell you that honoring their bodies is idolatry, and that once a person dies, their physical remains are completely irrelevant. Sola scriptura, right? But the physical reality sitting in these glass cases completely destroys that argument. How do you explain a physical miracle that endures for centuries? You cannot argue with a body that refuses to rot. The Catholic Church teaches something profound, the theology of the body. We believe that when a person reaches a level of extreme, heroic holiness, the Holy Spirit dwells so deeply inside them that it literally alters their physical reality, and their bodies become temples of the Holy Spirit in life, and God preserves that temple in death as a permanent sign for the rest of us. And this is not a medieval invention. It is entirely biblical. In the second book of Kings, chapter 13, Verse 21. A dead man is thrown into the grave of the prophet Elisha. The moment the dead body touched the bones of the prophet, the man comes back to life. God used the physical remains of a holy man to perform a miracle. The power wasn't in the bones themselves. The power was God, choosing to work through the physical world. Protestantism tries to separate the spiritual from the physical. They want a faith that exists only in the mind and in the text. But Christianity is an incarnational religion. The Word became flesh, and the phenomenon of the incorruptibles is God's way of saying, I am the Lord of the physical world too. These bodies are a living, breathing defense of the Catholic faith. They force us to face a terrifying and beautiful reality. The veil between heaven and earth is much thinner than we think. If God defies the laws of nature to preserve their bodies, what is He trying to tell you about the truth of their church? If this physical proof opened your eyes, wait until you see what happens when modern laboratories test the blood from Catholic Eucharistic miracles. The results will shake your faith to its core. Click the video on the screen to see the truth that modern science tried to hide.